to talk to you tonight briefly about masks. A pentimento is a painting process that was created by poor artists centuries ago. They created this process so that they could change their mind. And it's brought about from an Italian word, pentirsi, that means to repent. And the idea behind this is that an artist would be drawing something and he would change his mind. He would repent of it. He would say, I'm not going to draw that, I'm going to draw this. And so he would paint over it. And he would, whitewash it and he'd do whatever he could do to make the other painting go away. But the other painting, because it was first and because it was foundational, listen to me, because it was on the canvas, clean and right, an open wound as it were, because it was there, it would always affect the other painting. Are you coming with me? It always would affect the other painting. And sometimes the painting on top of the painting that created the pentimento was dark. And sometimes it even made no sense. We can relate this to our own lives, how if we haven't cleaned the canvas of our soul correctly, and we start painting on top of that, we create a pentimento of our soul. We start to create something that doesn't make any sense, but yet it's still a painting. There's still color involved, and so it seems like it's okay. But the truth of the matter is there's something between what we're living and seeing and the canvas. There's a former idea. There's a previous thought. There's something else that was said before that hasn't been taken away yet. That maybe who you were yesterday still refuses to be reconciled with who you are today. And sometimes we live our lives in a great handicap because we don't understand that the Lord comes not just with the hose to wash it, but He comes with the solution to make it go away. And we don't have to be what we were before, in body and heart and mind and spirit. But yet somehow, when we don't clean that original artwork, when we walk around with the pentimento of our soul, what happens to us is we always have the flavor. We always have the taste. We always have the feel of the original piece of art. And from time to time, art galleries will put certain paintings, old paintings, under infrared light, and they'll see the other painting under there. They can see it. And they don't often know why the artist aborted mission, why he said, I pentirsi of this original artwork. I have changed my mind. And the problem that we have is we don't always change our mind right. We get identity out of things, we let it form us, and then we don't know how to cut loose of it. We don't know how to make it go away from here to there. So we just go to the store and we buy paint. And we begin to put this paint, these colors on our canvas, and we say, well, isn't it lovely? But it's a little darker than it needs to be. It's a little thicker in spots than it should be. It's a little wider on this spot. It's a little too narrow there. And sometimes it's just not quite right, because of what's lying underneath it, that's actually, because it wasn't taken away and put to the pit of hell, what it's doing is actually dictating the movement of the paint on the outer canvas and says, I am a pentimento. I'm not original artwork. And sometimes when we're trying to live our lives the best that we can, the enemy will come and he'll tell us a lie. And then we begin to believe the lie. We are not this, that we are that. And it can plague us for years. And I've met people 70, 80 years old. And they tell me the conversation that the enemy has with them. They tell me the conversation they've had with themselves. And I look at them, I say, really? You live this long and you still believe that? And they do. Because they've never taken the paint off the canvas. They've never taken it off. And why would they? It's a mess, isn't it? Because that which you held dear, that which you held close, the very thing that mattered to you, the appearance of who you are, the mask as it were, covers all that up until the day comes where the paint starts to crack. Something comes that you can't quite handle. You're scared to dig down deep to the canvas of your soul to say, who am I really anyway? Who am I really? Because you know there's dark, cold, ugly paint there. Because of maybe the way you were raised or the way you thought or what happened to you. Somebody gave you terror as a gift and you got distracted. It's a pentimento of your soul. It's not real. It's a mask. And if you want to get pure comfort from the Lord and you want to say, God, hold my head up that I don't drown. Hold my hand that I don't get lost. You can't be fighting with the paint on your soul that was put there incorrectly. Because the Lord's a master painter, isn't he? When the Lord paints something, it's beautiful. And he has a right to a clean canvas. He has a right to come upon our soul and say, I can do a lot with this. But what we do is we offer him things with old paint, old scars, ugliness. And it's starting to scratch on some of you. Some of you are having trouble going forward with any aggression because there's a very loud voice behind you. And I'm letting you know it's ugly. I'm letting you know it's not a pretty thing. No matter how old you are, Jesus Christ has a right to a clean canvas. And just as the old artist said, you know, I pentersee of this. I repent of painting it. They didn't want to waste the canvas, and so they painted over. Why is it that your pain got painted over? Did you not know there was another way? Maybe you didn't know the Lord. Maybe you think everything's just okay. And you know what? Maybe it is. But for some of you, it's not okay. And you try to abound, you try to go forward, but the devil will always talk to you because he's closer to your soul than the masterpiece of God on top of the old paint. He's closest to you. Telling you. You can't abound, you can't go forward, you cannot do this, and you shall not do that, and you will never do this because you'll always do that. Tonight, the Lord wants to set that straight for you. We wear these masks. We allow our souls to have pentimento paint on them because we're afraid. We're afraid of what it'll be like without the weight of that paint on us.
When it's all been said and done, there is just one thing that matters. Did I do my best to live for truth? Did I live my life